For the first time in documented history, a gun has killed somebody. The new rules of gun safety came out the other day, and they are treat every gun as if it's a SIG P320. And in response to this, SIG has started giving out tourniquets with every purchase. Yes. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Deagle, and if you're wondering about what we're talking about SIG Sawyer, or Sauer, however you pronounce it. They've been under quite a bit of fire recently because one of their guns, one of their M18s, killed somebody in the Air Force. From my understanding, what happened was he took his loaded M18 or M17 and laid it on a table somewhat abruptly, from my understanding, just kind of like, boom, like that. And that abruptness made the gun go off, and it shot him in the chest, and he ended up dying. And up to this point, it has been a known fact that SIG P320s are not drop safe. Like, it is very well documented that these guns have been going off in people's holsters, and they have been going off when they are dropped in both controlled tests and accidents. And SIG's response to this, up to this point, keep in mind, has been along the lines of, this is blown out of proportion, this is just for clickbait, this is just for attention, they just want some money from a lawsuit. And they even went as far as saying, just don't carry with one in the chamber. Like, who says that? Like, your product has a known, well-documented flaw, and your response to that is to say, just don't carry with one in the chamber? Like I said, that's been their response up till this point. They kind of changed their tune whenever this airman unfortunately died due to his SIG P320. Just to clarify, if you don't know the difference or you're confused on P320, M18, M17, the P320 is the same thing as an M18 or M17. The M18 and 17 are just the military designations of the P320. So what I have is the M18, and if you Google an M17, the slide is just a little bit longer. I want to say it runs almost flush with this Surefire. That is the only difference, just to clarify that. So what are we going to do today? Well, I want to see if mine will go off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a casing in the chamber, just the casing with a primer in it, no powder, no projectile, and I want to see if I can make it go off. I seen a video of a guy who just like played with the slide and ended up making his go off like 3 times in a row. And I've seen countless videos of people dropping their guns and it going off, like controlled drops and they going off. So I want to test that too. Whenever I got this gun, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know this was going on. So when I did find out, I did a little bit of research, and what I ended up understanding or grasping from all of it was the gun, at least back then, had to be dropped at such a specific angle that the beaver tail and the back of the slide, like the top corner of the slide, had to hit the ground at the exact same time. And essentially what actually caused the malfunction was the inertia from this gun hitting the ground carried the trigger backwards as if you were pulling the trigger, and thus firing the gun. It's the same concept as if you hit the brakes in your car and you go forward but the car stops. It's the same thing. The only difference is you have seat belts to prevent you from going all the way forward. SIG does not have a seat belt per se. So yeah, and by the way, this gun is unloaded. There's nothing in the magazine and there's nothing in the chamber. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, disclaimer, I'm not a SIG fanboy. I have no bias whatsoever. I got this gun almost 3 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago, pretty much because the military adopted this as their pistol. The M18 is what the Marine Corps has, and the Army, and I think the Air Force has the M17, which is just a little bit longer than this. So that's what we're gonna do today. So for that first thing we're gonna do, it is cocked back, the safety is off. And in that video, he was kind of squeezing the front of it, just kind of rolling it back and forth. See if, being pretty rough with it. Nothing yet. I don't have the casing with just the primer in this because I don't want it to go off and, you know, hit any part of my hand. So we're just listening for the for a dry fire. That's what we're listening for. I've also seen people hit the back of it. I don't think that was nothing. Yeah, I'm not getting nothing. You know, I'm thinking that maybe one of these that's a little bit more broken in would go off. I haven't really touched this pistol since I got it. I put it through its break-in period, which was about a little more than 1,000 rounds, and it's been sitting by my nightstand ever since. So it's not very worn in, and you know, the more you wear something in, the looser those parts get. So that may have something to do with it. But as far as this, I'm not really getting anything out of it. Safety is off. It is cocked back. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a no-go. Yeah, so couldn't get it to go off there. All right, so now we're gonna do the drop test. So this is the casing. No bullet, no powder, it's just a primer, an unused primer. So it should sound like a one of those toy pop guns whenever it goes off. It should just be a pop, and that'll be our indicator whether it goes off or not. And back here I have this 2x12, 2x8, whatever it is. It's pretty solid, and it should act as, you know, something. So I'm gonna drop it from about waist height. I'm gonna back the camera up so you can see the height that I'm dropping it. And what we're gonna try to simulate is if you were to drop it from, I guess, from a standing shooting position, and you drop it or maybe fumble it trying to get it out of your holster. That's what we're gonna simulate. And we're gonna try to drop it to where it hits that beaver tail in the back of the slide, just like that. So that's what we're gonna do here in just a second. So, yeah. So, like I said, if it does go off, it'll be a pop coming out of the barrel. You might see something, I don't know. All right. Locked and loaded, safety is off. I'm gonna try to make it land just like that. So, we're about, let's see, chest height, or what would be chest height. All right, that was drop one. Drop number two. Nope. That was a pretty perfect hit too. See, it kind of brought the slide back a little bit. All right. Let's see. Drop number, I think that was 3. Or this is 3. I think this is drop 3. Drop 3. Nothing yet. All right. Drop number 4. All right. I'm going to stop there and back the camera up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. This is where you'd be shooting. We are elevated, or our board is, so this should be about right. Let's see. Yep. Nope. Maybe I got a good one. Ooh, that was a good one, but no, it did not go off. Let's see, this is drop 3. That was a good one too. All right, last one. Nope. As much as I would love to sit here all day and drop this pistol, I really don't want to. Not because I'm scared, just because I don't want to sit out here all day. I'm gonna do something different. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pretty much use it like a hammer and try to induce that malfunction or that drop, per se, as much as I can, and see if we can get it to go off. As far as time, that would be the most beneficial. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. Nope. Safety is off. Safety is off. It looks like I took the crowfoot part of a hammer. That's not what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. And just sat here and hit that. I mean, the rear sights are pretty durable, and that beaver tail is. All right. Nothing. I mean, that's fortunate for me because this is my bedside gun, and it makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, I don't think that's a lot. Me hitting it like this is a lot harder than if I were to drop it. So maybe I got a good one. I hope I did. I really hope I did. And if you don't know what it sounds like to shoot just a primer, you go. There you go. Like no recoil whatsoever, and it sounds just like a just like one of those pop guns. So pretty neat. But yeah, I don't know. I was not able to get it to go off, and I was hitting it pretty hard. If it'll focus, it's pretty scuffed up on the back, on the corners and whatnot. And it is unloaded. There is no magazine in it because the only safe SIG is an unloaded one. And I mean, fortunately, we wasn't able to get to go off. And I say fortunately because this is my bedside gun, or at least not anymore. I will be retiring it. But yeah, and disclaimer, we are not here to disprove the drop safe claims. It is very well documented, and it is very well proven that these are not drop safe. So that is not what we are here to do. I just wanted to see if I could induce the malfunction. And like I said, fortunately, we were not able to. Maybe I got a good one, or like I said before, maybe it's just not broke in well enough to have that problem. But either way, it is definitely something SIG needs to fix, because someone, at this point, someone has died over this gun. And SIG has joined Olight in the sense of the company has a body because of their product, like a body to their user. I'm sure SIG has plenty of bodies, but as far as the user, yeah. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Olight was in a lawsuit because a man was using their flashlight. He had it in his mouth working on his car, and it exploded and killed him. That's why I don't recommend Olight. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for spending just a little bit of time with me. And if you don't mind, subscribe and hit that like button. And yeah, that's all I got for you. One more thing. There's a lot of wrongdoing in this world, and a lot of times you end up being the recipient of such. And I guess my message to you, or really anybody, just let it go. That's about all I can say about it, is let it go. If you're a Christian, God says vengeance is His, and we are to let Him handle it. It says that in Romans 12. And we always tend to want to take things into our own hands, and we always make a bigger mess of it, make it out to something it never was supposed to be in the first place. So whether it be a person, whether it be a company you used to work for, let God handle it. He will have his vengeance, sometimes tenfold. So just sit back and watch, but let it go. But anyway, that's all I got for you. Like I said, we'll see you in the next one.